If you're looking to expand your Pokemon card collection without spending a ton, I've got 16 more Pokemon cards under $12 that are perfect for growing your collection while kind of on a budget. Whether you're just starting or adding to an existing collection, these cards pack a lot of value without draining your wallet. And plus, they're just cool to collect. My name is John, and if you're new to the channel here, feel free to subscribe where I help beginner collectors. And if you're interested in purchasing any of these cards that I've mentioned, you can use the links down below to make a purchase at no extra cost to you, but I'll receive a small commission which helps support the video editing for this channel just because I really am not good at editing. Now, this is the second part of this video that I've done, and I got a lot of good feedback of the first video I done, and I must give a disclaimer as far as I'm just choosing cards which I genuinely think look really cool to me. And so if you think these cards look cool, I invite you to actually go ahead and grab them as well. But the first card that we have here are for the individuals who are collecting sleeping Pokemon, promo Pokemon, or basically the Eevee collector. So here we have the Eevee 173 Scarlet and Violet promo card featuring Eevee, right, who is asleep. And I know there's a niche out there for people who are collecting Eevee cards or sleeping Pokemon. But this card over the past month has seen about a 20% drop. The market price for it is $9.25, but you can see it's slowly settling down. And it's a really nice card to grab. I know that the Eevee has been a fan favorite Pokemon ever since Gen 1. So this is a really neat card to grab. And for less than $12, when about 1 month ago it was above $12, this would be a really nice grab. So moving on to the next card, we have the Greninja. So the reason why I bring this up is because I recently sold 2 of these within the past week, and I was getting a lot of messages about this Greninja card from Twilight Masquerade. If you're expanding your Twilight Masquerade collection, and also there's like an art style to cards that look like this. I don't know how to actually pinpoint it, but I know that there's a few cards or styles that look like this where it's kind of like hexagon-like. I don't know if you want to call this like the prismatic style, but if you're collecting like this style of cards, the Greninja EX is a great card to grab as well. Greninja also being a fan favorite Pokemon. Okay, and I just had to confirm, but Greninja is from Gen 6. And so with Greninja, you can get it for less than $12. I apologize, I don't really know who Greninja was. I didn't really play around the Gen 6, so I am learning Pokemon myself. But the card itself does look really cool as well. Within the past month, it dropped only about 15%, but you can still get it for less than $10 at market price. So a really cool card to grab. Obviously, if you're not getting the main hit from Twilight Masquerade, which is the other Greninja illustration rare card, this card might suffice to kind of fulfill the Greninja spot in your collection. Now, the next card that we have is this Infernape from Twilight Masquerade, 173 out of 167. This card here I mentioned in my previous video, and I got a lot of comments saying that they really liked how this card was almost under $12. So last week when I went over it, it was under $12, and slowly it's creeping back up. I still think like this is a severely underrated card, and the reason why also is that if we take a look at the Greninja SIR, which is what I was talking about previously, I don't really understand how this card is valued at $350, whereas this card here is still valued at only $12. I think this is such an extremely underrated card still, and even though it's slightly above $12, I still think it's a really good grab, okay? Over the past month, it's dropped around 15 or 5%. It's slowly starting to creep back up, but if you have the extra resources or money, I definitely would consider grabbing this card, just because, I mean, the artwork, I feel like it's comparable. People will argue Greninja looks better. I personally think the Infernape looks better, but still the drastic price difference between an art that looks like this versus an art that looks like this, I feel like the gap should be smaller. Now moving on to the next card, we have the Feebas from Surging Sparks. So this card here you could also grab for less than $10. Within the past month, it has dropped around 30%. So this Feebas card actually goes hand in hand with the Melodic SAR from Surging Sparks as well, which I think is over $100, but still you can start with at least one piece of the puzzle. Lately what I've been collecting, and I'll show you later on in this video, is cards that go well together, cards that come in pairs or basically look good together. And this Feebas card is less than $10, it's dropped 30%, and once you get the Melodic, it's just a nice pair of cards that go really well together. So I actually picked this one up myself, and hopefully I'll pull the Melodic or be able to trade up for it sometime down in the future, but really great card to have. Moving on to the next card, we have the Pikachu EX. So for all my Pikachu collectors out there, this card here has dropped around 20-ish% over the past month, so you can get it for less than $7 at near mint, but still a really nice card for those who are collecting Surging Sparks. Recently I sold cards to about 3 people, and the 2 biggest sets that people seem to be collecting collecting are 151 and Surging Sparks as far as the modern era goes. So if you are collecting Surging Sparks or Pikachus, definitely grab this card or check it out. It's a really good price right now. Over the past 3 months, it's dropped not significantly. It's always been under $10, but it's just going lower, it looks like. Slight creep up, but really great card to add to your collection and such. Now the next card that I'm going to go over is a pair of 2 cards. And so we have the Nidoking Delta species from Dragon Frontiers. And then we have the Nidoqueen Delta species from Dragon Frontiers. So tying to previously what I mentioned just a couple minutes ago, I really am starting to like cards that come in pairs. So I actually had to grab a pair of these myself. So I actually grabbed both the Nidoking and the Nidoqueen Delta species just because I was actually able to get both of them for less than $10. Now with this pair of cards, the moderately played holofoil is sitting around $10. The moderately played holofoil is sitting around $5. So for both of these, you can get it for around $15. This is just for my personal collection and to look at, okay? So the conditions that I got on these cards, it was pretty much like lightly played to moderately played. But what I like about this is that these Delta species cards, they don't really depend on reprints just because, you know, reprints for Dragon Frontiers, I'm pretty sure has stopped already. So the price for this, I feel like is just going to creep up and up. You can see for the past 6 months, it's slowly creeping up. Okay, right now we're looking at moderately played holofoil. Obviously if you get a near mint, it's going to be a lot more expensive, so looking at $15 and such. But with this card, I mean, Delta species, if you haven't heard about it, my understanding is like it's basically Pokemon where they have like atypical types. Nidoqueen and Nidoking I think is supposed to be like a leaf type or a ground type, but seeing that it has like a Delta species, this one here is actually a dark type and this one here is actually a steel type, it's a really cool set to collect. So I'll actually be starting my Delta species collections starting with these 2 cards right over here. Now moving on to the next card that we have is that we have the Greedant card. Okay, the Greedant alternate full art from Fusion Strike. So this one here is less than $8 at lightly played, but if we change it to near mint, we can actually see that you can still grab it for less than $10. So this card I wanted to include for any Greedant fans. What I've realized with the Pokemon community is that you either hate it or you really like it, meaning Greedant. I think for one, it actually does look Peter Griffin, or looks like Peter Griffin, but the Greedant alternate full art from Fusion Strike, you can grab it for less than $10. Over the past month, it has been, it's like 2%, so it's staying steady, but I just want to include this one for any full art collectors or Greedant fans. Now moving on to the next card, we have a card for the Gardevoir fans. So the Gardevoir Astral Radiance Trainer Gallery number 10. So here we have Gardevoir acting in her like natural habitat, helping out, and you can get this card. I feel like the Trainer Gallery cards are severely underpriced right now. So for this one, you can grab it for like $4 near mint. Past month, it's still continuing to drop for some reason at 23%. But the Trainer Gallery cards, if you do collect them all together, just yield a very nice collection. I, for one, am not really interested in Trainer Gallery as much. Like I have a few in my personal collection, but if you're a Gardevoir fan, if you're collecting Trainer Gallery cards, this is definitely one to look out for. Now, moving on to the next set of cards that we have more Trainer Gallery cards from Brilliant Stars. So we have the Flareon. Near mint is going to be $8. Featuring Gary. We have the Jolteon featuring Gary. Near mint is going to be less than $8 again. We have the Eevee from Brilliant Stars Trainer Gallery, again less than $6. And then we have the Vaporeon, which is going to be the most expensive out of the 4. Going to be still less than $12, $10 at near mint foil. So right now Prismatic Evolutions is the hottest set of this year, comparable to 151. 151 I'd say is a bit more popular, or quite a bit more popular. But if you're into the Eevee collections, and instead of collecting for the Eevee Evolutions and Prismatic Evolutions, I feel like collecting the Brilliant Stars Trainer Gallery cards, the Eevee Evolutions in this set, is a really good alternative. Okay, so you can collect the Vaporeon from Brilliant Stars, the Eevee from Brilliant Stars, the Jolteon from Brilliant Stars, and the Flareon from Brilliant Stars, each card being less than $12 each. So if you have like a quad binder, so let's see here, and I like collecting my cards in quad binders, and what I mean by that is 4x3 pockets like this one here. So if you imagine if you had like the top row filled with Eevee, Jolteon, Flareon, and Vaporeon, it would look really nice in your binder. Okay, so I personally prefer, again, I'm starting to collect cards in pairs or in 4s, and the reason why is because it fits in this binder pretty well. So this would be a really neat set of 4 cards to place in your personal collection, and each of them again costing less than $10. It's a really good card to grab. Now moving on to the next set of cards that we have the Galarian Articuno from Astral Radiance, another Trainer Gallery card, and Zap Astral Radiance Trainer Gallery card. And then we have the Galarian Moltres Astral Radiance Trainer Gallery card. So the most expensive card in this set and in this video is going to be the Galarian Moltres. It is sitting at $14 market price and near mint foil. Over the past month, it has dropped about 20%, which is still pretty good. I feel like cards that are more expensive, obviously the more expensive and the more percentage that they drop, technically the more money that you're going to save. So going from $18 minus 20% all the way down to $14, I feel like it's on a nice trend down. I'll be on the lookout for this card just because collecting the Galarian Birds might be a really good addition to my collection. So the way I plan on collecting these birds, sorry I wasn't sharing my screen. So the way I plan on collecting these birds is that I'll probably have all 3 birds in one row and then probably like some sort of tag team card as the 4th card. So in a future video, I'll show you what my personal collection looks like, but there's so many different ways that you can collect. Again, going over the price points just because my screen wasn't showing, but we have $14 for the Moltres, $10 for the Galarian Zapdos, and then $10 for the Galarian Articuno. So all 3 cards, we have the Articuno dropping 10%/8% within the past month. The Zapdos is the only one that's been increasing. I'm not sure why, but that's a pretty, I've been trying to figure this out, like why this price has been increasing, but then the other 2 have been decreasing. But the Galarian Moltres, as I said before, is going to be the only card that is above $12 in this video. I apologize, but I feel like because it's trending down, there's a good chance that you might be able to get it for less than $12. So there you have it, guys. 16 cards under $12, technically 15 if you exclude the Moltres, obviously, that you can purchase in order to expand your collection. And again, if you want to use one of the links down below in order to purchase one of these cards, it'll help my channel at no extra cost to you. But thank you everyone so much for watching. Feel free to subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys all in the next video.